everyone in the Pilates industry knows about the dreaded slow season. The summer months and Christmas period top the charts when it comes to having quieter numbers, quieter Pilates studios, and a dearth of new memberships. I know in the United States and in Europe that the period between June and September and also the month of December tend to be the slowest months of the year, and we tend to have a very slow period where we have client memberships just start to dwindle, let alone trying to find new memberships, right? It tends to become a very slow period for us, and it can put some of us teachers into a panic mode, thinking that we're not doing well and our studio isn't doing well. Well, in this particular video, I'm going to be talking about whether this is a healthy thing for a Pilates studio and a wellness studio, and what you can do about it to make sure that you have an exciting and an exceptional year ahead. If you don't know me, my name is Anita Horry. I am second generation Pilates instructor. I'm master teacher, teacher trainer, and I'm also a business coach for those Pilates teachers and wellness teachers who want to find a fulfilled life, an exceptionally amazing business with a healthy balance of work and life, so they don't get burnt out, they don't find that they are struggling through any particular challenges of running their businesses, because they have my support. And through my channel and through the coaching sessions that I offer, I really feel that we get in tune into creating this amazing life where they have the most exceptional life of their dreams. Now, going back to this slow period in our Pilates studios, in our fitness studios, in our yoga studios, how do we make sure that we don't go through a slow period ever again? Okay, first things first is planning. I have said this over and over again in my videos, and I can't say this enough. Plan for slow periods. You are always going to have a slower period than others. Now, if this is the first time you're in business, maybe this is your first year in your Pilates studio, maybe you're not quite sure when the slow periods are, then that's where it's worthwhile that you actually seek out advice from people who have been in the industry before, maybe people who are able to help you promote your business when it is a slower period, to be able to create that momentum of continuous clients. Now, the good news is that the slow period is widely known within the industry, so that summer period and the Christmas period is always the time where the studio seems dead, or at least you know that you have a lot less people coming to the studio. Now, don't let the months of December and July and the lack of engagement from your clients put you off and maybe get you down, because there are just industry standards. They are industry standards, and you know that it's going to be a slower period, but it doesn't mean that you're going to stop working. What you need to be doing is planning in advance from your annual budget through to your expenses, through to your class scheduling, and through to your advertising strategies. You really need to make sure that you have these set out well in advance. And this is why I'm coming up with this video right now. I'm coming up with this video right in December, when I feel that people are maybe feeling a little bit disheartened because they feel that they don't have so many clients. Maybe they're thinking twice about even continuing with their Pilates business. And this is the right time for you to set these strategies and to do your plan for next year. This is where you're starting to weed out all the bad stuff from your business to make sure that you start a new year afresh. And this is where you really need to get a grasp of what you're going to be doing in the following year. Now, if you've already been in business for a few years, you should be using the statistics from the previous years to be able to determine how you're going to be planning next year's budget. And if you don't have access to statistics, you really need to be investing in software that will give you access to statistics on the amount of people you've had, the members that you've had for the year, what kind of memberships have dwindled down, whether you have specific periods in the year that have dwindled down, and you should be looking at your advertising strategies, your advertising budgets. You should also be looking at your expenses during the year, and these statistics should be able to give you a really good setup for creating your budget and your plan for the next year. And doing that, you're going to really figure out when your slowest periods are and be able to cover the costs of the slower periods. So when it comes the time for a slower season, you're not screaming and freaking and going into a fit because you don't have enough income to cover those costs. Honestly, having this data at hand is going to make it really easy for you to crunch each year's numbers for a more sustainable and more profitable future. Now, what's the most important thing to do if you are already in business and you can see that your client numbers are starting to dwindle in the slower periods? The first thing you really need to be looking at is maximizing your client retention. So there's no point of you trying to do more and more advertising in a slower period. What you're going to be doing is just throwing money down the drain. Putting more money into advertising strategies that might not work is going to make you feel at a loss. It's going to make you feel frustrated. You don't have the budget for it, so you're going to feel that you're really just wasting your time with your business, and you're just going to go round in circles and feel even more at a loss with the business. So the first thing you need to be looking at is just looking at your current clients and making sure that you're serving them well. Now, if we're looking at a slow season in the summer months, you could always come up with some creative ideas where maybe you can do some outdoor classes that are going to make it more fun, make it more interesting for the clients. Maybe they want to spend more time in the fresh air and they don't have that opportunity when they are inside your studio working out. So I appreciate that with having Pilates studios with equipment, with apparatus, with Pilates apparatus that is heavy and cumbersome to move, it's not so easy for us to do outdoor classes, right? But we can always diversify and create sessions where we'd say, like, maybe do once a week, we're going to do a once a week outdoor class, and that's going to create more interest. And the most fun thing is that maybe you can create new challenges for your clients, maybe doing things using outdoor equipment that perhaps you wouldn't have even thought about if you were at the gym or at your Pilates studio. So think about this. If you are wanting to do a Wunderchair workout, but you don't have access to a Wunderchair when you're outdoors, correct? Well, you find some places, you find a park where there are some benches, and create similar exercises that you would do on the Wunderchair on a bench. Trust me, this is so hard. We've done this before in previous challenges, and we've done it over the COVID period where people were sitting at home doing nothing, right? And it was fun, interesting, creative, and challenging. And the other thing is that you can create some themed vacation challenges for keeping your members active, or keeping your members really interested in what you're giving them. And they'll be super excited to come back to the studio when it's time to come back. So in the summer months, you could think of doing maybe even a jogging challenge, maybe doing a GPS route on a theme of on a beach, or doing a walk in the park, in a specific park. Anything that's really going to get your clients interesting. Doing specific challenges like maybe do a squat challenge, or a 30-day seated to standing challenge. Or maybe say, well, we're going to focus on the core workout. So you give them a full month of core workouts and a full month of core challenges that they can be doing with you during the holiday season, and being active with them, and obviously giving them the accountability that they have to do it is a really amazing way to keep them interested in what you're giving them, and to bring them back to your studio when they are back in your area. And the one thing that many people miss when they're giving challenges is things like rewards and gifts, because, you know, it's okay doing a challenge, but if you don't feel like there's nothing to gain out of it, you'll easily get demotivated as a participant. So if you give your clients rewards for completing a full 30-day challenge, for completing a competition. It's going to boost their morale. It's going to help them really stay active and feel more motivated to come back to you at your studio. Now, the other important thing to consider during the slow period, as I mentioned before, is strategizing your advertising opportunities and advertising budget. So instead of investing in huge budgets of advertising that you know will not work because you don't have the people around, start experimenting with new ideas, new advertising ideas. Maybe you're looking at another social media strategy that's not going to cost you so much, looking at maybe doing cross referrals with other wellness providers in your area, doing things that you know that are going to be low budget, that if they fall flat on their face, it's not going to be a huge deal. You're not losing so much out of it. Rather than just spending money on huge advertising strategies when you know people, whether they want to come or not, they're just not in your area, they're away, they're on vacation. So why even focus on spending that amount of money on these big campaigns where, you know, even if they liked it and they wanted to join, they're not physically able to join you. So do things that are going to be a lot low key. So thinking of these new ideas where you can collaborate with other people, or you can create marketing strategies that are going to be more organic, so then you know that you're not investing so much money in them. Things like referring a friend, things like challenges with the families, things like working out within a community, or maybe doing community events that are going to even help you with your branding. So you're not necessarily going to get your clients straight away, but you're doing things that are going to be helping you with your branding, and you're also going to be introducing new services to your clients. So if you are giving a community event and maybe doing a talk about back health, or doing a talk about the importance of stabilizing our joints as we get older, then you're also promoting your services as a Pilates instructor, as a wellness provider, and for them to be able to join your sessions in the new year, or when your season starts again. And you know, if these promotions work during the slower periods, just imagine what they're going to be doing in the higher periods, in the higher season, when there are people in town that are going to be able to join your classes. Now, I want to touch on a thing that perhaps some of you feel a little bit frustrated about, because they feel that they're right in it. They've not planned any specific strategies for the slower season, and they're in it. They're experiencing, they're feeling frustrated. They're thinking, I've got very low numbers in my classes and I can't fill my classes and I don't know what to do with my time. I'm sitting idle waiting for my clients to turn up. You should never come to a stage where you are sitting in your studio or at home, if you have a home studio, waiting for your clients to turn up. You should never ever do that. There are so many other things that you could be doing. The first thing, well, I really need to acknowledge and appreciate that it can be very demoralizing and it can be very frustrating if you are experiencing a slow period and you are waiting for your clients to turn up and they don't turn up. And it's even more frustrating when clients don't turn up without giving you any notice. So this is a really excruciating time for us, when demoralizing, and then it really starts to make us feel whether we're doing the right thing. The first thing I want to comment about is, if you have people who are not showing up for classes, I hope you do have a strategy, a cancellation policy that covers that part. The next thing is, if you have slower numbers, if you have reduced numbers in your classes, you're maybe coming down to maybe 2 people or 3 people in a group, you really need to look at reshuffling your schedule, reshuffling your structure, and making sure that you pull more people together into the same class. Again, getting rid of the weeds, getting rid of those extra classes that you know aren't going to work out. So the ones with the lowest numbers, you're going to need to move your clients from those classes to other classes. If it's not convenient for that particular client to move to another class at another time, then there's another strategy you can take, and maybe you can accumulate the number of sessions that they've paid as a group in a group situation and offer to give them a private. Now, this does two things in this respect. One, it's going to reshuffle your schedule, so you're going to have a lot more time in your hands to be able to do other stuff, and I'm going to be talking about that in a very quick second. Then the other thing that's going to do is that it's going to invite the client to come to do a private session with you to perhaps work on their technique. If the client insists that they still want to continue with the group sessions, then you've obviously come to that crossroad where you have to decide whether you're going to continue with giving the client a group session at a specific time, at another specific time, or you just pause their membership for a period of time. Another thing that is also a doable situation, depends on how many clients you have, could also be doing online group sessions. So maybe you have one group class a week that you do online and you invite that client to join that online class. These are all strategies where you're not losing clients and you are experimenting with new ways of improving your schedule, reorganizing your schedule. At the same time, you are still giving that customer experience, which is the most important thing, right? Customer retention is important. Don't be afraid to ask the clients to change their times. You need to say to them, this is a very quiet period for our industry, and I would appreciate if just for this period you move to this particular session. Most of the time, I've never come across anyone who has said, absolutely not, this is the only time that works for me. Most of the time, clients are very receptive and very accommodating. And if you do it by maybe perhaps giving them another little bonus, maybe say, look, I'm going to add an extra group class for the privilege of giving me the opportunity to reschedule you with somebody else. Now, by rescheduling classes, you're going to obviously increase your downtime. You're going to increase the hours where you really don't need to be teaching. This doesn't mean that you do absolutely nothing. No, you can leverage your downtime to your advantage by planning ahead, so then you can maximize the administrative tasks that you want to be doing. And I know you probably hate doing the administrative tasks, but they are important tasks that you need to be doing so that they set you up solidly for your future. When you are running a Pilates or wellness business, there should never be a time of downtime. There should never be any idle time. There should never be time where you feel that you've got nothing to do. You know, when business is booming, you have absolutely no time to be doing these mundane tasks. Maybe things that are administrative, maybe looking at updating your management software, pruning any member profiles. Maybe you have got your member profiles on written on a card. I remember when I first started, oh my goodness, when I first started teaching Pilates, all my clients had a client card. So you can just imagine how long-winded that was and how much time that was taken for me to just service my clients. And the back end part of the running the business was so much more tedious, and now we've got software that does it. We have software that updates all this stuff, and you guys, you know this is so much easier. We are living in a much easier time to be running a business. So starting with looking at your management software program, looking at pruning your member profiles, maybe looking at the studio, looking at your particular space, maybe looking at the paintwork in your studio, giving it maybe a quick lick of paint just to make it look good, make it look fresh, make it look more inviting. All these things are going to attract clients to come in. You know, the first thing that people look at when they come to your studio, when they see your space is, oh my goodness, the equipment. Yes, the equipment strikes them because it's really different, it's very strange. But what about the other stuff? You know, I've worked out in Pilates studios that have been really dirty. I've worked out in Pilates studios where the equipment wasn't cleaned thoroughly. I've worked out in studios where the clients would clean their equipment after their workout, but then the actual equipment would gather dust, it would gather grime, and you could see the black marks on the wood of the reformers, see that the stuff hasn't been actually cleaned. So this really is a put off to clients. If you can see that as a teacher, then you make sure that you know for sure that your clients are also seeing that. And the other thing you can do during the slow period, during the holiday period, is to follow up with clients who have no longer attended your studio. So they've stopped coming to your studio, and maybe just reaching out to them and asking why they've chosen not to return. And it really is not just for you to ask them to come back to the studio, but to improve your services for other clients, for future clients. So doing this is going to set you up for your next year, for your next season, to know what you need to be focusing on, where you need to be reshuffling. Maybe your clients will say to you, you know, your times, your schedule didn't work out for me. You're too expensive. I've figured out that it's taking me far too long to come to your studio. All these things, you know, maybe there's stuff that you can work on. Maybe there's stuff that you can't work on. You know, you can't make the distance any shorter between your client's home or place of work to your studio, but you can most definitely look at your pricing strategies if they think that your price is too expensive. Other thing is organizing your inventory. It's important to reevaluate what inventory you have and what is selling and what's not selling. That's why those statistics that I talked about ages ago, earlier in this video, are very important, because if you know that specific products are not selling for you, why sell them? Why even have them on your shelves gathering up dust, and then you probably have to sell it at a loss because you just want to get rid of it to clear the space. Now, even when your checklist is all complete and you've figured out what you're going to be doing with your schedule, what you're going to be doing with your studio, with your time, maybe you've networked with other service providers so that you can create new strategies, there's maybe going to be a time for you to think, okay, I can now sit down and relax and just wait for clients to turn up. No, there is never going to be time like that. There are always many other ways for you to continue to become proactive in your business. As an entrepreneur, you have to change your attitude. You have to change your mindset of, I'm sitting here for work to come and happen for me. No, you need to take that proactive mindset and you need to start thinking about what other ways can I generate, what other things can I generate to improve my business. You could also think of maybe doing things like online revenue. Maybe you want to take some of your business online, and there's so many things you can be doing nowadays. You can create courses online, you can start doing videos. Like if you are having idle time where you're waiting for your clients to come through the doors, just get down there, get on a piece of apparatus, start recording yourself and start creating some content. And if this content isn't to do with working out, do some other content, do some other reflective content. Maybe you want to work on doing some research on Pilates and back pain. You want to maybe create a program for your clients on Pilates and back pain, and maybe you want to do this in image format, or maybe you want to create video content for it. There is always time for you to create more for your business, and by doing this online, you're gonna get evergreen. People are just going to continue subscribing to these to this course online. If you put it out online, if you create this course online, then you're going to be making money while you're sleeping, because all you're doing is just publishing it online, and then people will subscribe to it with the right strategies, of course, because you're just letting it sit on your website, nobody knows about it, then no, you're not going to be making money while you're asleep. But if you have the right strategies, the right advertising strategies, marketing strategies for it, then you will start making money when your studio is idle. Now, I continuously talk about multiple income streams, and this is one of them. It's really important for you to focus on other things, other ways of generating an income, and not just relying on the income that you make from your studio. If you learn how to use the slow period to start planning ahead for your future business, you are going to be way ahead of your competition. way ahead of your competition. This is what pulls apart amazing business people who are successful in their business and those business people who think they're going into business and then they flop after the first year or the second year of business. You really need to start strategizing for your future. Regardless of the strategy that you're using, regardless of how you are thinking of generating this income, use this period as an opportunity for you to expand and try out new, exciting directions rather than sitting back, feeling overwhelmed, feeling depressed because you're not making any money. And while you are looking at new, expansive ideas and new ways for you to generate business, you also have time to get rid of all those mundane and administrative tasks that would normally pile up during the year. So creating this feeling of, I can do this, I'm really excited about this opportunity ahead, and I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for having a slow period where I can thrive in being creative and in creating more abundance, more wellness, more opportunities for me to connect with my clients. And this is so empowering. This is such an empowering feeling to have. I hope you like this video, and if there's any questions, any particular questions about this video, you know where to find me. Email me at admin@anitahorryacademy.com. You can also DM me on my Facebook page, Anita Horry Academy, or my Instagram, AnitaHorry_Academy, and my website. You can find so much more information about me on my website, AnitaHorryAcademy.com. And most importantly, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel to get opportunities to watch all the other videos that I upload online. If you know anyone that would really benefit from my video, I would really appreciate it if you do share it with them. They could be in any sort of wellness industry, because at the end of the day, the strategies are just the same. They're just as important. I hope you like this video. Until my next video, goodbye for now.